After you do the Active Directory domain services role installation, next you have two choices whether to do the basic or the advanced. I have chosen the advanced, so you can get to see all the different options. Okay, go next. It informs you all the different operating system compatibility issues. So just go through it and then go next. Now it's asking you if we want to join this as a domain controller to an existing domain, or we want to create a new domain in an existing forest, or we want to create a new domain in a new forest, which is what we are going to select.
Create new domain.
New domain in a new forest. Okay. Now, what is the FQDN? So I'm going to make this simple. I'm going to use our Acecs Inc. So I'm going to call it Acecs Inc. and I'll call it .local, because this is not going to exist on the internet. If it were to exist on the internet, it would be acecinc.com,
yeah,
which is our website, right? So it's checking whether the forest name is already in use. It'll find it's not in use, then it'll create it, right? So give it a few seconds. So it has verified that the name Acecs Inc. is unique, and it's also going to give the NetBIOS name as Acecs Inc. Go next. Now it's asking the forest functional level. The forest functional level, your options are Windows 2000, 2003, 2008, 2008 R2. Since we are not planning to have any 2000, 2003 or 2008 domain controllers, we're going to select 2008 R2. Please note, you can have servers that are 2000, 2003 or 2008. Only restriction is domain controllers cannot be that. So we're going to select 2008 R2. And the reason why we are selecting this is we want to take advantage of all the new features available in Windows Server 2008 R2. All right. And it's telling us you will only be able to add domain controllers that are running 2008 R2 or later to this forest. It's checking and it's asking us to select additional options like DNS. Because we don't have any DNS servers, it's going to also create the DNS server for us automatically. And then it's asking us, this computer has a dynamically assigned IP address. Do you want to use an IP address assigned, or no, I'll assign an static IP address. Okay, go next. Okay, so you need to do this. To give this computer a static IP address, go into the network, open network sharing center, change adapter settings, local area connection, and then properties. And we select the TCP/IP4, go to properties. Now you're going to give it a static IP address. Actually, we're going to give it the same address it already has. So let's check it. So to check the dynamic IP address, we need to go to command prompt. So right click command prompt, run as administrator, and the command to find our IP address right now is ipconfig/all. So our IP address is, need to write this down.
What was the command again?
ipconfig/all. 192.168.130.128. Subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. And DNS, we're going to put 192.168.130.2. Okay. So 192.168. Okay, what is the gateway again? .2, 130.2. It's not 1, it's 2. And 192.168.130.2. Alright, so we're ready. Now we're going to make it a static IP address. Click close. And just so we know, I'm going to put the same address over here. So rename it. This is going to be 192.168.130.128. So that's our static IP address. Okay, now I can close this and we can go forward. It's saying a delegation for this cannot be created. Okay, just say yes. It's asking us where to save the database folder, the log folder, and the sysvol folder. Please note the Active Directory database is called what? NTDS. New Technology Directory Services, NTDS. And it's saved under C Windows. Log is also saved in the same location, which is very bad. So I'm going to change the location. In the real world, they should be on separate drives by itself. Okay, but here we don't have that option. So what I'll do is I'll create these folders at least on the C drive to keep them separate. Right? Remember, real world, separate drives, not folders. So NTDS. NTDS log. Sysvol. Right. Now I can go back and use these instead. So now we'll be selecting NTDS. This is for the database. For the log, we'll select the log. And then sysvol, we'll be selecting the sysvol. Remember, in the real world, these should be separate drives, not even partitions. Recommendation is a separate drives. Alright, so now we're ready. We have to put it. We're going to use the same password because we don't want to forget the password. Otherwise, if you forget this password, guess what? You will not be able to make, you will not be able to restore Active Directory in case you ever need to. So this password is very important.
There's no way to reset the password or anything, right?
So now we're ready. If you want, you can export the settings. So we'll call this and this is going to put it on the C drive. Okay. Okay, let's see if it saves it here. Okay, yes. Next. So now it's starting. And this is going to take a few minutes to several hours. So we'll just wait till it finishes. So as you can see, the installation is completed. I'm going to click finish, and you have to restart. So let's restart it. Let's wait for it to restart. There it is. Just coming back up. Wait for it to. So it has restarted. Note that it's now time zone is Eastern time. The IP address, note the one we put in. Now notice that the computer is part of the domain accessing.local. So everything is good. Now we can close this. Our installation is done. To verify the successful installation, we basically go to the AD tools. So AD tools are available over here. So if you click on the start button and you go to admin tools, you'll see all the Active Directory admin tools are now available. So we know that Active Directory is installed. Let's just create a user account for ourselves to prove that's actually installed. So go to the users container, right click, new user. So I'm creating an account for myself, Prof. Sam. Logon name also Prof. Sam. Similarly, you have to create an account for yourself. Make sure you use the same password. Do not use any other password. Don't use any other password, and you don't need to change it again at first log on. In fact, I'm going to say password never expires because I don't want to change it again and again. In the real world, this may not be acceptable. You may be required to change it like every 40 days or whatever. So there, confirms it's installed. I just created my account, right? Everything good. Now, if I want to get all the rights, I need to join this to specific groups. So I'm going to join it to the domain admins group first. I'll join it to domain admins, right? This way I become a domain admin. Then I can put I want enterprise or enterprise, and the last thing I want is schema. All these are three separate groups. We'll discuss what they are later. But you want to be a member of the domain admin, enterprise admin, schema admins. Now you can do anything and everything in the AD forest if you have all three, right? So there, everything was successful. Now we need to join the other server to this. So let's do that. So now I'm going to connect to the SQL server and give it a static IP address so that it can talk to this server. It's just showing me that we can connect to the USB drive. Fine. Now I need to make this static IP first and then join it to the domain. So to make it static IP again, I'm going to network and sharing center. I got to change it up to settings, local area connection. properties, TCP/IP properties. I'm going to make it use the static IP. The reason is I want to force it to connect to the domain controller. You'll see how. So as you can see, the IP address is 192.168.130.129. Okay, so let's put this in. So initially, I'm going to put the gateway and the DNS server as our domain controller to make it force it to basically connect. So click OK, click close, and it's identifying. I want to rename this to 192.168.130.129. Done. Okay. Now we need to join this. So to do that, right click computer, go to properties, go to change. Now we can join it to the domain. So change. Now say domain Acecs. There. Now this is the reason why I created my account. So I'm going to use my account, my password. Give it a few seconds. And it's done. But believe me, this is not as easy as it looks. In a real network, it can take a while and sometimes it doesn't work. Then you have to troubleshoot and fix it. But in this example, we were successful and it's done. Now it's joined the domain. Now, if you want, you can change the gateway to 130.2, which will allow it to go externally. But right now I gotta restart it. So mission successful. Now let's check on the domain controller to verify that. So this is now the domain controller. Okay, let's log in. So instead of logging in to the local machine, which I still can, I'm going to switch user and log in as the domain user. Right, see, now it's saying log on to Acecs Inc. So I'm going to log in with my domain account. To confirm that it's a member of the domain. We successfully log in and now the two are connected. Look at the name. Computer name is now SQL 2008r2.acecinc.local. So we have joined the domain successfully. So this is done. Let's stop this. This concludes this demonstration.